Hi everyone, my name is Madeline Turner. I currently study at Knox College. I am a studio art major, and my spring 2020 term I did take a color theory class, and today I'm going to walk you through one of the exercises that we learned how to do. This first one are color grids. Color grids are great in helping you see how many different colors and tones there are in a plane of view. I like to use them for studying purposes, specifically how to mix certain colors without just having pre-made colors in a tube that I can just use. I think researching a little about color theory is a really great way to just help you as an artist as a whole, specifically for painters. Because knowing how to mix your paints rather than just having a pre-made tube in front of you is a really good skill to have. So for my color grid, I will be doing a view from my little sliding doors. I'll attach pictures here so you can see what we're going after. I do invite you to do whatever color grids you like. You can look around your house, see what colors you find interesting, and follow those. I will be explaining how we get the colors and how to mix them, so you can follow along if you want. I do urge you to create your own colors just to have the fun of it and get the experience. What you need for this project is pretty simple. You'll just need a ruler, a pencil, eraser, and just some simple brushes. You don't have to have 3 different kinds. You could honestly do it all with just like this size of brush. You also need paper that can handle a wet media. So typically a watercolor paper is the best, but mixed media is also great. Anything that's a little thicker. You also need something to put your paint on. You don't need something this fancy. I just had this lying around and I thought it would be great to show you guys how to mix paints. Another thing that's important when you're doing these color grids is to keep your paints organized, because if you're not keeping your paints organized while you're doing these, it can get really confusing. When I did my first color grids, I did not keep them organized, and because I didn't keep them organized, I got really confused on what colors were supposed to go where, what colors I mixed, like what levels of the colors were mixed. So this is just a great way to show you how to organize your paints on your palette. Anything can work for a palette. If you have a piece of plastic, put it on there. If you do have a palette, a wood palette, plastic palette, a butcher tray, whatever you want to use. You can even use wax paper. That's a great homemade disposable palette, so you don't have to buy any. You just need something to put it on that you can mix. You also need any kind of opaque wet media, and what I mean by that is specifically either acrylic gouache. You can use regular acrylic paint. You can use tempera. I don't recommend watercolors. You can do that if you want to experiment with it. For color grid purposes, usually you want to see the truest colors. Acrylic gouache dries down matte, so it really exposes the true color that you're using. So let's go ahead and get started on how to do this. It's pretty simple. All you're going to do is draw a 5x5 square. Alright, I switched rulers just because I thought this would be a little easier for you guys to see. So what you're going to do now is you're going to mark out each inch. Same thing, measure out 5 on the other side. Okay, great, we have those done. Once you have the grid down, what you're going to want to do is pick 4 colors from your area that you're wanting to do a color grid on. So like I said, in mine, we're going to do light blue here. We're going to do the bright green here, and then the red here, and we are going to do my squirrely friend's tail in this corner. So what you're going to want to do is, for this color on your palette, imagine your palette is just a paper. Pull this out. Imagine this is your palette. It's completely empty. It doesn't have these wells, which you don't need. You are going to want to put your left top corner here, your right top corner there, your bottom right corner here, and your left bottom corner here. And then we are going to be mixing them. So for example, I will get mine out. So now we have one color. Now we are going to mix that nice green, nice bright green color. color, I'm just using a emerald green and a primary yellow. Next color is the farther across the line. Mix a little bit of red, a little bit of blue, a little bit of green. Not that much. Another thing to keep in mind is if you don't get the colors exactly the same, that's okay. Because when you start mixing these colors, you may get that color that you're seeing. I'm gonna be taking a little bit of red, a little bit of that blue, a little bit of the green, and a lot of yellow. Okay, and at this point, you are welcome to go ahead and fill in these corners. So now that we have the corners, this is where the organization of your palette comes in handy. So you're going to do a lot of dipping and mixing. So let's go ahead and do that. I like to start from the top and then work my way around and then work across. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this color, mix it together, put it in the middle. So I'm going to do that here. Great. And then you are going to take a little bit of this, a little bit more blue. And essentially what you're doing is you're creating this scale between the two colors. So imagine a color wheel almost. You're basically going through and finding these colors. So now to get to this color, you're going to mix this and that. Now we have that, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take green and the dark red. And we're going to take this color and the green. Now we're taking this and that. This and the brown, put it in the middle. Now you're going to take this and this, put it there. Now this and that, put it there. Get interested to see how these interact, so let's go ahead and do those. Take that and the blue, put it in the middle. Brown and the gray. So now is when the organization of your palette kind of comes in handy. A little bit of brown there, that's okay. There are two different ways how you mix these colors. I like to go horizontal. So for example, you would mix this, that, and the middle. So on the palette, you would take gray and this in the middle. Or you can go vertically, you take the middle color down here, in the middle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to do gray and this. So you are going to take the second color that's closest to your corner color and mix it together. So for me, that is this. And this. So now you will do the same thing that we did on the sides and take this middle color, add it to that one. Do the opposite, take this and that mix. Then we'll move down to the perfectly centered one. So for this row, what you're going to do is you're going to take the color that you made from the green and the red, which is this one. You're going to take this color and that gray and put it in the middle. Mix it together, put it in the middle. So now that you have the middle, let's go ahead and take that in this color and put it there. I do really enjoy earth tone colors, which is why we're getting these colors. And like I said, if you want a super bright color grid, go ahead. They are definitely fun to do. Okay, this color, you know the drill by now. You take that color in the middle. You take the gray in the middle, put it there. Alright, that row's done. Last and final row. Here we go. So for your final row, you're going to take these two colors and mix them in the middle. Alright, and for this color, we just mix that and that together. So now we're going to take the middle tone with the brown, mix it again. And you're done. And of course, you can see that I have a few holes. We can go ahead and fix that using glue. And there you have it. You have a color grid. You can always go over these again if they're too streaky for your liking. I usually do that as well, but for the sake of the video time, I just did one layer, and this is what you should have. It's a great way to see the possibilities of colors throughout what you're looking at. Like I said, you can do brighter colors, you can do the primary colors, that'd be very interesting. I specifically do these just to get a handle on the colors that are in our surrounding world.